Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to today's video. I'm excited to do another Q&A session with you all to celebrate 40,000 subscribers. So if you're joining me live in the during the broadcast today, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, be sure to leave those in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, be sure to leave any questions that you have in the comments below. Again, I'm just so excited about the growth of the channel and to be sharing my journey with you all. These last few months have been a little bit of a wild ride, but I have enjoyed sharing my journey and my progress through intermittent fasting to hopefully help you on your own health and fitness journey. Whether you choose intermittent fasting or not, that's not my end goal, is to convert people into intermittent fasting. It's just to share my personal experience and to get across this idea of progress over perfection, and working on that mindset of, hey, we have the rest of our lives to get healthy. And if we're getting just a little healthier at a time, that's the thing that is most important. It's not important to do it perfectly. It's just important to get started. But hey, I appreciate you joining me today. I'm looking forward to the video and answering your questions. I know there's a lot of people that have questions for me prior to the video. A lot of you did write in questions. I'm going to cover those as well. And again, if you're here live, be sure to leave those questions in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, be sure to leave those questions in the comments below. But before we get started, I just want to do a quick shout out to the following subscribers. The last 30,000 subscriber live stream we did went about an hour and 40 minutes. Today I've got about an hour and a half I've blocked out, so I'm going to be here at least until 11:30. It may be earlier, just kind of I'm going to answer every question that I can that's here in the live. But shout out to the following people who made it through the entire live stream last time. Inescapable, Esther, Isher, CB, Carol Ward, Gail, Michael Sugar, Noah, and Dr. Patrice Carter. Special shout out to you all for making it through the live stream. I really appreciate the support. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the questions for today's video. Hey, so first and foremost, or the first question I have is, can you tell us your favorite Ranger story? And again, so I was in the Army. I've been out of the Army for 6 or 7 years now. Man, time flies. I got out in 2016, so I've been out for 6 years now. When I was in the Army, I was in the infantry. I was an officer, and part of being an infantry officer is going through Ranger School. So my favorite Ranger School story is, it was 62 days long. I started that at 206 pounds, and I ended that at about 173 in 62 days. You're moving probably 10 to 15 miles a day with a 60-pound pack. Ranger School was beyond tough, but it was really rewarding for me because when I was a kid, the only thing I ever wanted to do was be an Army Ranger. So during the suck, as everybody, is just having a hard time around, the thing that I really got to think about was, man, I'm getting to do what I have been daydreaming about since I was a little kid. But here's my favorite story at Ranger School is, they say there's two kinds of Rangers. There's tired Rangers, and there's hungry Rangers, because you're only eating like 2 MREs a day, which is like 2,000 calories, which is nothing compared to how much you're moving. I was a tired Ranger. So we were in mountain phase, the second phase of Ranger School. We were in mountain phase. I was so tired as we were pulling security in our little woodland base. I was pulling security, which means I was laying down. I had my rifle pointed out, looking for any enemy that could have been there. And I fell asleep with my rifle, like just like this. And my team leader came and he kicked me and he said, "Ryan, wake up! You got to go see. You got to see ranger instructor." And I was like, "What's going on?" He's like, "You're getting a major minus," which are these things. If you get I think it's 3 major minuses, or if you get too many of them, you get recycled. You have to redo Ranger School. And I had to go sign one because while I was sleeping, the ranger instructor came up to me and he pulled the trigger on my rifle and fired my rifle as I was sleeping, and I never woke up. I was so tired that I slept through that. I didn't believe it myself. If everybody had not been there to confirm the story, I don't think I would have believed it myself. But I was definitely a tired Ranger. So that's my favorite Ranger School story. All right, the next question I got is, are you originally from Florida or a transplant? I was originally, my dad was in the Army. Excuse me again, I got my whole pot of coffee here. I'm going to be drinking throughout. But so my dad was in the Army. He was a Calf Scout enlisted, And I was born in Germany, actually, in 1986. I was born in Germany. Both me and my older brother were born in Germany, and then lived there until I was about 2 years old. Came back, and my dad, until I was in the second grade, he was in the Army, and he retired when I was in the second grade. So I lived in Georgia, Texas, and then moved to Florida in the third grade. So I've been in Florida since I was, what? How old are you in the third grade? Probably 8 or 9 years old, and have been here since, except for that time that I joined the Army, and my wife and I traveled around the Southeast, and I spent some time in Afghanistan. But other than that, come back to Florida. So I like to say I'm a Florida native. All right. How do you start? It's so hard. So here's one of the things that I recommend everybody when starting with intermittent fasting. If you go back, if you haven't watched, please, I'd encourage you to go back and watch my very first video. It's kind of my stair-step approach to intermittent fasting. I posted that after I had already been fasting for about 6 months and lost 40 pounds. And the way that I recommend that you start with intermittent fasting is just focus on the fasting. Don't try to change your nutrition. Don't try to start a new exercise plan. Don't change too many things in your life except focus on the fasting, because here's why. Those first 2 to 3 weeks are tougher. When you get started, it is tough to start fasting, and it is going to require you to kind of muscle through or use a little bit of willpower to get through those first 2 to 3 weeks. And again, I recommend you only start with about 16 hours. So stop eating at 8 p.m., start eating again at noon, because for those first few weeks, while your body is adjusting, normally at breakfast time, when you would normally eat, your body releases a hormone called ghrelin. And again, I don't get into the science a lot, but essentially it's kind of like the Pavlovian response. Your body's used to eating breakfast at a certain time. So when you don't eat for those first few weeks, your body's used to eating. So your brain starts sending those signals that, hey, it's time to eat. You do kind of have to power through those. There's things you can do to help, like drink a lot of water, drink some black coffee, things like that. But a little bit of it, you do have to muscle through those first 2 to 3 weeks. But I promise, on the other side of that, once your body stops getting used to breakfast, it becomes very easy. I can do 20, 22-hour fasts and not even get hungry anymore because my body is used to it. Now, again, I don't do really long fasts. I've never done, in 2 years of intermittent fasting, I've done over 30 hours a handful of times, but to do 16 to 22 hours, once you make it through those first few weeks, becomes easier. So my recommendation, only focus on the fasting, don't change your nutrition, and you got to kind of muscle through those first 2 or 3 weeks. But on the other side of that, it becomes really easy and easy to maintain. This one, mate, you're not at 40K yet. I know, I'm like 400 subscribers, or maybe 600 subscribers away. But I have a crazy busy schedule, as most of you know, and through the next 2 weeks, my schedule is very crazy at both work, and we've got things planned on the weekend. So this was the time that I allotted to get the live stream in, because I work a closing shift tonight, and Carrie and I are celebrating our 13-year anniversary next weekend, and we're going to be going to St. Augustine to celebrate that. So my videos, luckily I've kind of gotten ahead, but this is when I could fit in the live stream, and I wanted to have the opportunity to talk to you all. All right. 11 Charlie here. Good to see you, killing us, sir. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I love my Charlies. Love the sound of mortars going out. So I appreciate you coming in. All right. I don't agree with the OMAD, but I enjoy your videos and hope you keep losing weight and bettering yourself. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Honestly, that's probably one of my favorite comments to get when I see a video that says, hey, I'm not even into weight loss and intermittent fasting, but I really enjoy watching your videos. And I appreciate seeing stuff like that, and a little behind the scenes, because this is, the live stream, and this is the core of the community that I'm trying to build. If you go back and you look, there was a period of time last year when I was changing careers and coming over to Publix. I didn't have health insurance, and I was a little stressed, and I had put on probably about 25, 30 pounds through that career transition. And I stopped posting videos for a while, because in my head, I was like, man, I can't tell people how to lose weight when I have put weight back on. Again, I can get into my own head as well. But I started posting videos again, and I realized I have kind of moved away from videos where I just kind of sit down and tell you the best way to intermittent fast, because I'm not an expert. What I think I have found more powerful is just to share my own experience, the ups and downs of it. So I really appreciate seeing comments like this. Hey, good morning, Esther. Good to see you again. Glad you could make it on the live stream. Hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Go ahead and let me know in the chat where everybody is joining me from as well. I'd like to see kind of where everyone is watching in the world. And then I'm not pre-reading these comments. I'm literally just going down. So if you have a comment, leave it in the chat and I will get to it. I'm seeing these for the first time as I bring them up on screen. Hey, thanks for serving. Much appreciated. My question is, what is the best way to start intermittent fasting? I've been trying and always seem to mess up. So this kind of goes back to the question that I had a little bit before, is how the best way to start. And again, if you haven't, please go back and watch my very first video. I talk about my stair-step approach to intermittent fasting, which is just focus on the fasting. Don't do too much else, because when you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing. So just focus on one healthy habit at a time, and a little tip or trick that you can do without, again, completely changing your diet. Just try to eat proteins at the end of your fast. That is one of the things that you can do in those first few weeks that will help you feel less hungry. Is when you eat a lot of carbs, you get that spike of insulin and that crash, which makes you more hungry. So I don't restrict carbs. I don't recommend people restrict carbs right away. You don't have to do that, but try to eat protein later in your window as well, kind of as your last meal, and that should help you kind of feel satiated through your initial fasts. Hey, Aaron, so good to see you. Aaron, an OG for sure. I've been kind of following the journey for a while now, so it's great to see some familiar faces. Glad you can make it on the live stream. My advice for someone who wants to begin fasting, again, I am not a doctor. Legal disclaimer, don't take this all as medical advice, but it is important that you make sure that you're healthy enough for fasting. So if you have a primary care, just make sure that there's no underlying conditions that you have that would prevent you from fasting. And then other than that, just focus on one thing at a time. There's a saying, and I get it from somebody that I kind of get YouTube advice from. I watch his channel a lot on how to make good videos, and his advice is you can't steer a parked car. So sometimes we get so in our heads about doing it perfectly that we never actually take action, but the results come when the action happens. So my recommendation is you just start messy and kind of see what works for you. What works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for somebody else. So my recommendation for beginning fasting is just kind of experiment, see what works for you, try different times. I always recommend, people start with the 16-hour. And again, those first few weeks are going to be a little tougher. You got to power through those a little bit, but once you get through that, on the other side of that, it's really good. But just focus on one thing at a time and just start is my best advice. Don't get in your head about how tough it's going to be or how hard it's going to be. Just start and make adjustments from there. You can't steer a parked car. How would I do the 16-8 intermittent fasting if I go to school and I don't eat lunch until 12 or 1 some days? That's perfect. That is 16-8 fasting. That is like a perfect, if you can't eat lunch until 12 or 1, just stop eating at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. at night and don't eat again until 12 or 1. That actually fits in perfect with the 16-8 intermittent fasting. What is the weirdest food combo you eat? I think the salt on watermelon got a little bit of, but people do that. That's not a weird thing. Some people do that. Some people don't like it, but salt on watermelon. Let me know in the chat below. I probably won't see it until I get there a little bit, but let me know if you do ketchup on eggs. I've gotten some strange looks about ketchup on eggs before, but I definitely love ketchup on my scrambled eggs, like scrambled eggs with cheese with ketchup on it. I'm definitely a fan of that. And another one is peanut butter on my pancakes. I love peanut butter and syrup on my pancakes. That's part of the reason I was able to put on so much weight, though, is in addition to the pancakes and the syrup, I was adding peanut butter to it. How much water do you drink a day? So this is one that, I see a lot, and people talk about tracking water, and I have thought about tracking my water before. I just haven't got there because, again, I try to practice what I preach, and I don't focus on too much, because if you focus on too much, am I getting my 10,000 steps? Am I getting my water? Did I exercise? Am I eating healthy? Am I fasting? Did I stretch? Am I doing a morning gratification routine? All these things. So water is one of those things that I have not tracked. As far as how much I drink throughout the day, I'm probably drinking 2 to 3 cups of coffee, which all has water in it. And then I did buy a bigger water jug that I tried to drink out of, but I don't have a number or a target that I try to hit. I just always try to drink when I'm thirsty, before I'm thirsty. And I do, being in the military, one of the things that they always talk about, signs of dehydration, is I'm always aware of the color of my urine. So I try to drink as much to have a more excuse me, to try to have more clear urine. That is a good indication for me whether or not I'm getting enough water. And if it's darker, I'll kind of drink some more, even if I'm not necessarily thirsty, but I don't track my water. Woo. Got some shooters out there. I appreciate you. All right. Any advice for being a father? You know, as I'm getting older, I'm only 35. I don't feel old. I feel so young at heart. That's part of the reason why I'm on YouTube and make the shorts like the TikToks that I do. I feel young at heart. But as I am getting older and a little more mature, advice that I would have for being a father is kind of some of the same advice that I'm given on weightlifting and weight loss. Don't try to be perfect. Just try to be better. Always do a little bit of evaluation, but just kind of take action. Do the things that a good father would do. Be there for your kids. One that I probably need to work on is being slow to anger. You may not see it here, but there are times in the morning I get, if we're not out the door on time, I probably can get angry quicker, and that's something that I need to work on. But be slow to anger. Make time for your kids, your family. And another piece of advice. All right, so here's my golden rule. Golden rule for being a good father. Also, you have to be a good husband. I think probably the most important relationship that you have is between you and your wife, and that is the foundation for the family, or you and your husband, whatever the case may be. But the couple was there before the kids, and I think having a strong relationship there helps. And I'm fortunate enough to have a very strong partner in Carrie. I think we parent well together. Good team. How to not feel shame when taking a cheat meal or day. This is a great question, Chris. This is a great question. And I had a cheat day, cheat meal, whatever you want to call it, 2 nights ago. I got off of work. I was working a closing shift, and I went and got a Whopper, came home and ate 3 ice cream sandwiches, 2 little pouches of Sour Patch Kids, and I think some cheese on crackers. All in all, probably not crazy on calories. Probably, I don't know, call it 2,000 calories of extra food on top of, I thought I had already stopped eating for the day. And the next day, I was able to, 2 days ago, I was able to just kind of get back into my routine. Now, the reason I was able to get back into my routine was because I kind of let the guilt and the shame go by. I didn't let what happened in the past affect my right now. And here's my practical tip for that. A lot of this is mindset. There are a few things that I do that I don't necessarily share on YouTube. I don't know the best way to share them, but I'll let you know here now. I do watch a decent amount of motivational videos on YouTube. I kind of listen to those if I have them in my ear when I'm working out, or if I'm driving to work, or after I drop the girls off at school. I watch some of those. But when it comes to guilt around food, the best thing that I have found is I don't tell myself there are any foods that I can't have. I can have anything I want. I can't have everything I want. I can't have it all the time. But I don't tell myself there are any foods off limits. That's the first step you can take to leaving behind some of that food guilt, is because if you tell yourself you can't have it, and then you do eat it, well, you already told yourself you couldn't have it and you're breaking a rule. That is where some of that guilt and shame comes from. So my recommendation is, again, a lot of this is mindset, but you really got to have a conversation with yourself and tell yourself there is no such thing as a bad food. Food is not moral. Um, and that's where it starts, because this is life. I mean, I plan on hopefully living another 40 years at least. If I can make it to 75, none of the men in my family ever made it to 60. So if I can make it to 75, that's a good life. So to think I'm going to eat perfectly for the rest of that is foolhardy. So it starts with not telling yourself there's anything off limits. And the other thing to do when you have a cheat meal or cheat day is understand that what you do in one day and what you did yesterday doesn't define your future. Because again, when I was transitioning careers to Publix, I put on 25, 30 pounds, was eating much more unhealthy than you see me eating now. Wasn't recording that stuff. But even a bad 2 months doesn't define my future. And that's what you have to tell yourself is, one, there's no such thing as a bad food. And two, your past doesn't define where you're going. It is what it is. It's the past. It has already happened. It's not going to affect where you go moving forward, only what you're doing now. So it's hard, man. There's not an easy answer, but it starts with, you got to give yourself grace, right? When you eat something that is not necessarily the best, you can't say, I'm a failure, I shouldn't have done that. Stop the negative self-talk. And if you need some help with this negative self-talk, you've got me here telling you, hey, listen, if you eat a food that is not healthy, that means nothing about you and your morality. You're not bad for eating an unhealthy food. So I hope that helps you. How do you not overeat? I get so hungry after my fast, I just want to eat everything. So one of my tips for this is, every once in a while, I will allow myself to eat a lot. And I have found, for example, I did the cheat day video. And again, I call them cheat days, but I don't believe in a true cheat day, because I don't believe that there are any foods off limits. When I say cheat day, that's just my way of saying high calorie. I find that when I allow myself to eat a lot of food, to kind of fill my body and kind of fill that desire, it goes away. If it doesn't, if you eat a lot and eat a lot and eat a lot and always find yourself eating a lot, one thing that you can do to eat less is, when it comes time to break your fast, start with a high protein, high fat snack, a smaller meal, and wait an hour before you start eating. So for me, that looks like either a protein shake, or you see me, I eat avocados a lot. I eat that right when I break my fast, and that kind of blunts my hunger a little bit, so that my first meal after I have had that snack isn't as big. That's one of the things that I have done to kind of blunt that desire to eat a lot all the time, because you can't eat a lot all the time. You do have to be in a caloric deficit if weight loss is your goal, but give that a shot and see if that helps. Um, so as far as weight loss surgery and being able to do intermittent fasting, again, not a doctor, but I believe intermittent fasting should work if you've had weight loss surgery. I think intermittent fasting can work for a lot of people. At the end of the day, the thing that is going to work best for you is the thing that you can do sustainably long term. I think intermittent fasting is a great tool, because it allows me to remain in a calorie deficit and still eat the foods that I want and feel satiated. Yes, if I eat 2,500 days or 2,500 calories in a day, where I do, say, a 20-hour fast, and I eat those 2,500 calories in a 4-hour window, the energy balance would be the same if I ate those same calories over the course of the day. But if I were to eat 2,500 calories over the course of 4 or 5 meals, that's only 500 to 700 calories a meal, which isn't that much food. So I'm going to be hungry throughout the day. Whereas with intermittent fasting, because my body has adjusted, I'm not hungry when I don't eat. So that when I do get to eat those 2,500 calories, they're bigger meals and I feel more satiated. So I recommend you try intermittent fasting and see if it will be the thing that works for you, because the thing that will work best is the thing that you can do long term. And that's why I'm such an advocate of intermittent fasting, is because for me, it fits very well in my life. So I don't think that would have an issue. Check with your doctor. The other thing you do have to think about is, are you getting enough nutrients? And again, I am not the person to make sure that you're getting all your nutrients in. I think you can see my diet is not as varied as it should be, but it will be. 2 years from now, I will be eating a healthy diet, and I'm moving in that direction, one day at a time, progress over perfection. But I think it could work well for you. I've been struggling with eating breakfast again. I keep pushing through. Yeah. So again, it's really, you got to commit to those first 3 weeks. If you commit to 3 weeks of intermittent fasting, you will have some hunger pangs for those first 3 weeks. If you can muscle through those, I think on the other side of that, you'll see that you don't get hungry as often. And the other thing to think about is, I just lost my whole train of thought. Oh, follow my advice of don't try to do everything. Just focus on the fast. Don't change your nutrition. Don't start a new workout plan. Just focus on the fasting. Hold on one second. I just got a question that I want to see. Somebody asked what happened to live. Am I still live streaming? I think so. Yeah. Sorry about that. That was weird. All right. Does your wife fast with you? If so, does it make the fasting easier to have someone doing it with you? So Carrie does not fast most days, but honestly, so we're both working full time. Um, 5 days out of the week, I'm at work, she's at work, we're working. So I really can't tell if she was fasting or if she wasn't fasting. I don't, for our situation in our family, I don't think it makes a difference. Um, I don't think it would matter one way or another. But the thing that I do like about intermittent fasting with a family is that we don't have to do separate meals, because we've done that before. It was before we had kids, but there was a time where I was trying to lose weight and I was doing low carb, and she would make her dinner and then have to make my dinner separate. And I was eating like chicken breast and broccoli. It was disgusting. Um, um, but we would eat two separate foods. I think that's the thing that makes dieting tougher with a couple, is when you're on different styles of food and what you are and are not allowed to eat. I think that's tougher than intermittent. One person intermittent fasting, the other one not, because then just one person can skip that meal. But if you're both eating different kinds of foods, I think that makes it more difficult. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you very much. We've been Carrie and I. I'll end up. I'll probably end up doing a video when we're down in St. Augustine. I'll do a vlog for that. And right now my vlogs are about 2 weeks behind. So when you're seeing me post a video, it was 2 weeks ago. So that'll probably be out next month. But Carrie and I have been dating since we were 15 years old. And we've been married for 13 years now. So I think when we were 30 years old, at that point, since we had been dating since we were 15, when we both turned 30, we had been dating for half of our lives. So at this point now, we've been together for more than half of our lives and been married for 13 years. And our birthdays are like 10 days apart. Have you lost weight doing this every day or just to maintain your weight loss? So I could do it both ways. If I want to lose weight, so right now, here's where I'm at. Yesterday, I hit a new low after kind of putting on some of that weight. I hit a new low of 211. I ended Thanksgiving, Christmas time. I got up to about 245. I wasn't there for long. I was legit. I probably put on 6 pounds just through the holidays, but I got a new high, like a high at 245, at 211. But I started the new year at 235. I started the new year at 235. I'm at 211 right now. if I maintain weight or lose weight, it absolutely has to do with how much I eat during my window. And right now, I am in a slight deficit, which is what I'm shooting for. I am trying to lose weight right now, but I'm trying to lose weight at the rate of like a half a pound a week. Because the other thing that I'm trying to do is, I don't know if you could tell in that latest video, I am trying to build some muscle, which means I'm lifting heavy in the gym, and I am trying to eat a lot. I don't want to go too low, because if I go too low, that will, I think, hinder me from being able to be strong in the gym and put on muscle. So I am losing weight, but that has more to do with how much I'm eating in my window. I try to keep a slight deficit. How do you maintain OMAD when feeding your family? I know it sounds weird, but I have a 3-year-old who, of course, eats when he's hungry. What do you tell yourself? At this point, it is not hard for me to not eat when I'm fasting. Now, I will say days that I do OMAD, or like I do OMAD probably 3 days a week. The other 3 days I'm doing probably average 17 hours. I do OMAD a lot on days where I close. Today's a perfect example. I go into work at 1 o'clock today. I haven't decided yet, kind of depending on how I feel. I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to eat half of my calories at noon before I go into work, and then eat the other half when I take my lunch break. I take an early lunch break when I close from like 3 to 4 or 4 to 5. And I'll eat the other half of my calories then. Or I could eat all my calories from 4 to 5, but then I won't eat again until tomorrow at around dinner time. So I'll fit in a 24-hour fast. Usually I'm doing those on days where I close, because essentially I'll skip dinner tonight and breakfast tomorrow. And I'm able to do that because I'm closing and the girls are at school, so no one even notices it. As far as the snacking goes with having kids around, I feed my girls all the time when I am fasting. And what I tell myself is, it's easy for me to do that because I would rather eat some really big meals. I would rather enjoy my feeding window than have a handful of goldfish. A handful of goldfish is not appealing to me. Having 2 bison steaks with French fried onions, potatoes, and a key lime pie is more enjoyable to me. Having those really big meals is what I enjoy. So that's one of the things that I tell myself is, yes, I'm giving up the snacking, but I'm getting really satiating, really good meals. Hey, what's going on, Lydia? Shreveport, Louisiana. What's going on? And watching from Germany. I was born in Germany. I was born in Fulda. Let's see. My fiance and I are thinking of moving to Florida from PA. We have 2 kids. Would you recommend? I mean, I love Florida. I don't know how Pennsylvania is, but one of the things that I love about Florida is the no income tax. That's always really nice. No state income tax. The weather's nice. So I like where we're at in North Florida, because honestly, the weather is a little more temperate. I mean, you're talking 5-6 degrees, but in the summertime, it's not crazy hot. I mean, it's still, the difference between here and where we grew up in Melbourne is in the summertime, it's going to be 93 degrees here in the summer, whereas down there it would be 97 degrees. But in the wintertime here in North Florida, it does get a little cooler, which is nice. Let's see. Just a quick thank you to Elias. I appreciate the super chat, Elias. Again, just thank you so much. I appreciate that everyone is getting a lot out of these, and I appreciate that, Elias, for the super chat. All right, let's. Happy anniversary! Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Love your energy. Thank you. I am getting that a lot. Carrie accuses me of being an eternal optimist, and I appreciate that. I do my best. I blame my father for that. I'm new to intermittent fasting. I started following you a few weeks ago, and I love seeing your videos. They really help me. From South Georgia, and I love seeing your family too. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, April. I know we loved Florida is nice, but I also loved our time in Georgia. I was stationed there twice. Fort Benning, I got stationed there twice. We lived in in Columbus, Georgia, there at Fort Benning, but Georgia is really nice. Robert, do you drink alcohol? If so, how can you incorporate with your diet? Thanks for your service, bro. I'm one of your biggest fans. Hey, thank you very much, Robert. I really appreciate that. As far as alcohol goes, I do drink alcohol. I don't drink a lot, and that's a personal preference. Honestly, again, giving you're my true fans if you're here watching the live stream, especially if you're watching this on the replay at 35 minutes. If you're here on the replay at 35 minutes, let me know in the comments. I'm an all or nothing kind of person, which has hurt me in the past with dieting and exercise because I was either all healthy or all not healthy. I am working on that personally, trying to get rid of that all or nothing mentality. But I am that way when it comes to drinking. I personally only like to drink alcohol if I'm going to get drunk, for the most part. I mean, I'll have a beer or a cocktail every now and again if it tastes good, just to enjoy the taste of it. But when I was younger and in college and earlier in the Army, if I was going to drink, it was going to be to get drunk. So I personally don't have a preference for alcohol. If you wanted to incorporate alcohol into your fitness, into your intermittent fasting, you just may need to look at adjusting the times that you're eating. I think if you can fit it into your feeding window and that's what you enjoy, again, life is about balance and life is about enjoying yourself and being sustainable. So if your plan is to drink and go out and you want to intermittent fast, that just may mean you start eating at 5 p.m. Have your first meal at 5 p.m., stop drinking at midnight, 1 a.m., rinse and repeat. But find a way to fit it in and make it sustainable is my recommendation when it comes to alcohol, if you're of age and all that kind of stuff. So I said it earlier in the stream, but there's nothing that you should tell yourself is off limits. Obviously, don't drink in excess. If you have an issue, seek help. But you can absolutely fit in alcohol and live a healthy lifestyle, I think. I hear a lot about the health benefits of red wine, and that is one thing that I'm trying to drink. I do enjoy wine a little bit more now, but I just don't drink all the time. Love the community here. Everyone wants to see you and others succeed. I appreciate that, man. Life is too short to be negative, and that's what, man, I love getting some of the negative comments on the videos, because honestly, they don't bother me one bit, because life is too short. I don't have time for that negativity. Spring Hill, Florida. Woo-hoo, man, a bunch of Floridians in here today. Orlando. I was in Orlando. I went to UCF. Go Knights. I was actually a lifeguard at Blizzard Beach for 2 summers. Go Orlando. All right, I've been intermittent fasting for a while now. Not OMAD, but an 8-hour eating window, and I've really enjoyed your videos. I'm looking forward to seeing your channel get even bigger. Hey, I really appreciate that. As far as the channel goes, I'm just going to keep kind of posting, evolving. Again, I think I have even kind of shifted my focus. I used to think when I started posting these videos, like you go back and you'll see I have a lot of videos telling you how to intermittent fast well and giving you tips. I want to share tips and strategies, but I don't think I want all my videos to be me sitting down in the kitchen and saying, here are the 3 things you need to do to stay full during your next fast. I just don't feel like it's as authentic. I may at some point. I'm trying to evolve, and I think one of the things that I am seeing is that just sharing the journey is kind of what is resonating with people. So I'm going to try to give you all kind of more of that kind of content, and I enjoy shooting the vlogs, so I think I'm going to keep doing that. And if you like the vlogs, if there's any video ideas that you have, let me know in the comments. But again, part of the reason that I like shooting the vlogs, kind of the day in the life, is I'm still working a full-time job. So to sit down and write and script a video telling you the 3 things that you need to do to stay full during your next fast, that takes a lot of time to script it, to sit down, to shoot it. And that's time that I just don't have right now. Whereas the vlogs, I'll just kind of take you with me for the day. And now that I have the editor, she's able to edit those for me, and I can get out probably 2 videos a week now, whereas I was getting out 1, and just kind of take you along the journey. And it's been really fun, but I appreciate the support and look forward to the channel growing as well. Slidell, Louisiana. Slidell. Is that how you say it in Slidell, Louisiana? Tips and staying consistent on IF. So I am going to do that. I just talked about not doing a tip video, but one video that I will come out with is that first video that I did. It's my stair-step approach. I will update that now because I filmed that when I was 6 months in. I will film my stair-step approach now that I've got 2 years experience. Don't be an expert. Want to share my experience. I just don't know how to pivot from showing people how to navigate. Yeah, so as far as that goes, I just kind of, as far as like filming the videos goes and knowing what to share, I just kind of take cues from you all. If I see a question surface a lot of the time, well, then that tells me that I can share my experience there. So one of my questions was when people saw that I was losing weight, one of the biggest questions I got was, "What are you eating?" Which is why I film what I eat every day, because that is what people want to see, how or what I'm eating and losing weight. So because I kept getting that question, that told me, well, that's a video that I need to do. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Tommy. Love ketchup on eggs from earlier on. Oh, good stuff. I'm not the only one. Ryan, am I going to eat hard at 50K? Yes, Ryan. All right, everyone. When I get to 50,000 subscribers, I'm not gonna commit to brain now because I don't know where I would even find it. But Ryan has been commenting on just about every one of my videos where I eat liver and asks me when I'm gonna eat heart. So I'll go ahead and make the commitment now. When I get to 50,000 subscribers, I will eat heart. Sean Cannell, I love Sean Cannell. He runs Think Media. For anyone that is interested in YouTube, that's the YouTube channel that I watch to help me learn how to make better YouTube videos. Peanut butter for sure on waffles, absolutely. Oh man, we've got a lot of comments. I'm going to start rapid fire through these. So we're about 42 minutes now. Again, I have an hour and a half allotted for this. If you were sitting with me through the whole thing, that is freaking awesome. I'm about halfway through my coffee. I'm going to drink a whole pot while we're here on the live stream. Don't judge me. All right, best sugar-free syrup that tastes good and doesn't leave you feeling disgusting like some brands do. I can't answer that because I don't know. I haven't done sugar-free syrup in a while. It's been years and years and years and years since I did sugar-free, and I think I did the Walden syrup, the Walden brand. I think that's a pretty popular one. But one of the things that I do recommend is Smucker's has a sugar-free caramel syrup. It's like an ice cream topping that is sugar-free. That's Smucker's sugar-free caramel in a smoothie. So good. So good. Go out and get some of that today. I don't care what you're doing. If you like smoothies and you have a sweet tooth, which I definitely have a sweet tooth, the Smucker's sugar-free caramel in your smoothie, done. It adds a lot of calories. I think it's like 180 calories, but it's lower on the glycemic index or whatever. So it's not necessarily low in calories, but it is low in sugar. That and a protein shake is just the best. I'm impatient. When's your next video stream coming? So I uploaded the workout video yesterday. That one was not received as well. That probably got less than a third of the views. I just don't think people want to see the workout videos as much, which I'm fine with. I'll still post those occasionally because there are some people that want to see the workout videos. So I posted that one yesterday, and right now I have 4 videos that I'll be sending to the editor. One she's got right now that should be out sometime this weekend, and then I've got 3 more to send her. Right now, a video takes about 4 to 5 days to get edited. So I will be coming out with a video about that frequency, about every 4 to 5 days. If you are not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I don't want to commit to an upload schedule like, hey, every Wednesday and every Saturday, every Sunday, because honestly, life is crazy. But I will make the commitment that I will get them out as frequently as I can. And if I get a video back on Thursday and it looks good, I'm not going to wait until Saturday to post it. I'll upload them as soon as I get them. So I'm trying to get videos out as soon as I get them. But hopefully this weekend. I just gave her the other one yesterday. A new video posted yesterday, and then I gave her the next video to edit. So hopefully by this weekend it's up and out. Get a 40-ounce hydro flask, and that helps throughout the day. I try to drink about 2 a day. Again, that helps. I do have that water bottle now. You'll see it in some of my videos. I put my Ranger tab sticker on it. But yes, I think having the water bottle helps to track your water, because then you don't have to think about it. You can just look. I just got another super sticker. Thank you very much, Major Change Group. Again, another one, OG supporter. I appreciate seeing your comments on the videos. And as far as that goes, I know, again, I'm just at the point now, I think my video views on the shorts mostly, but they're getting probably 200,000 views a day, and I'm getting upwards of 200 to 300 comments a day. I'm not at the point, I can no longer respond to every comment. If you ever have a comment on a video and you really want a response, I'm going to go ahead and leave right now. Oh, let's see. I lost it. My email address is ifwithryan@gmail.com. Oh, here it is. ifwithryan@gmail.com. If you ever have a question that I don't get to on a video, shoot me an email. I answer every one of those. But Major Change Group, I see your comments. I still see everybody's comments. I don't have the time to respond to each and every one of them. I try to respond to as many of them as I can, but I'm still small enough that I'm able to read every comment. So if you type a comment on a video, trust that I see it, and I try to respond to as many of them as I can. But I definitely, Major Change Group, thanks again for the super sticker, and I appreciate seeing your comments on all the videos. All right, a good podcast is the Granger Smith podcast, and a good brand is Yee Apparel and his family channel. The Smiths is amazing. I need to check them out. I'm always on the look for a good podcast, good YouTube channel. I'm always kind of surfing and seeing what's out there. How often do you do a 24-hour fast? 24-hour, probably once every 10 to 15 days. 22 hours, probably once a week. Once or twice a week, I'll do 22 hours. And honestly, that is more to do with when I'm working a closing shift. Because I work a closing shift anywhere from 1 to 3 days a week, just depending on the schedule at work. If I'm working a closing shift, I'm almost guaranteed like a 22-hour fast, because I'll stop eating today by 4 p.m. And because I do like to fit in some of these longer fasts just so that I can remain in a calorie deficit, I'll do a longer fast going into tomorrow. I actually think the plan tomorrow night, it's Friday, but instead of pizza, I think we're going to go out and do another celebratory family meal, celebrating 40,000 subscribers. We'll do something special tomorrow night for that. So I'm looking forward. That's why I'll probably end up doing 26 hours, because I'll stop eating at 4 and I won't eat until we go out to dinner as a family tomorrow night. And that's one of the things that I'm also thinking about, is I'm thinking a day or two ahead when it comes to my fasting and feeding. When's the next time I'm going to eat, and what do I need to do now to get ready for that? Well, we're going to go out and have a big meal as a family tomorrow. Because I want to be able to eat that meal guilt-free, I'm going to prep for it today by doing a longer fast in preparation. I'm also going to eat a little cleaner, a little healthier today. I got some ground beef thawing out right now in the sink. I'm going to do some ground beef, some rice, something else, and I'll probably be at 2,000 calories today, which is a little light for how active I am in preparation for our dinner tomorrow night as a family. How do you get back on the wagon after you find yourself falling off? Went from 289 to 249 with the fasting. So again, that's a great question, and that's something that we all struggle with. That's probably one of the toughest things that nobody tells you about weight loss, is when you lose the weight, if you put it back on, which a lot of people that lose weight put it back on, is what is the plan and what are you going to do when that happens? So the first thing that I would recommend is know that when you're setting out on a weight loss journey, we have to take a long-term approach and understand that putting weight back on is going to be a part of the process. And that's one of the things that I failed with myself. I did it last year. So I lost 60 pounds with intermittent fasting. And in the midst of the career transition, I put on 30 pounds of that. At one point, like 40 pounds there for a few weeks after Thanksgiving. I lost that quicker, but still 40 pounds from my lowest. I put that back on, and I struggle with it is because I told myself I was going to lose the weight. But what I should have said was, I'm going to learn how to be healthy. And part of being healthy is understanding that in life, there's going to be times where we put weight back on, but that's okay, because when you take that long-term approach, it doesn't matter if I go up for a little bit, because if I focus on the healthy habits, if I focus on fasting, if I focus on exercise, if I focus on nutrition, I compound those over time, the weight will come back off. So the biggest thing that you have to do when you put weight on, because more than likely, if you're on a weight loss journey, at some point you're going to put weight on, is you have to tell yourself it's not an indication of you and your morality. You're not a bad person for putting weight on. Understand why you put the weight on. I put the weight on because I was stressed and I was overeating and I wasn't fasting as much. So if I want the weight to come off, well, then I just address some of those things, get back into fasting. But don't dwell on the past. Don't look at, hey, I've lost this weight and regained it. Don't spend too much time dwelling on that, because that's not going to help you move forward. Listen, I know what I just said is easier said than done, but that's kind of where it starts. So much of this is mental. Great. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I love your videos. You should try intermittent fasting with a different theme each day, like Mexican, Chinese, Greek, and etc. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think that is definitely something that I have been thinking about, and I'm experimenting with my shorts, trying different things. One, because variety is the spice of life. And two, the videos are fun to make. I think probably my biggest issue right now is having the time to plan all those out. So right now, kind of what I'm sharing is what I'm doing, living my busy life and trying to lose weight. But I think that's a great idea as well. I like the idea of different themes, and I think I want to move in that direction. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, motivational videos for sure. I'll listen to Matthew McConaughey is one of kind of my. I like having Matthew McConaughey in my ear. He's got some good motivational videos out there. They're not his, but people have done mixes of his different speeches before. I live in Jacksonville, Florida, and Jacksonville, I don't know what Jacksonville is known for. They're known for saying Duval, because that's the county we're in. I would say we're not really known for the Jaguars because they're not doing too hot. What would you recommend workout-wise? Do you ever feel depleted from the fast? So I don't really. And the workout video that came out yesterday, my recommendation for anybody is always do what you enjoy, because when you enjoy it, you'll be consistent. And when you're consistent, you will have results. So I enjoy bodybuilding style workouts. So those are the ones that I typically do. So as far as the workouts, I recommend that you find what you like doing. And guys, man, there's a ton of questions coming in. All right, so I've said it already, but I'm going to try to do rapid fire so I can get as many of these as can. To be healthier, should you force yourself to eat healthy foods you don't like? I don't like eggs or spinach or kale. No, I absolutely do. You should never eat something you don't want to eat, because if you eat spinach and kale and chicken and you don't like that stuff, the whole time you're going to be thinking, man, I have to eat this. I have to eat this. You're going to do much better when you want to eat that stuff. I want to eat super healthy. I'm not there yet. So whenever I get an inclination to eat healthy, like eat a salad or eat some fruit, I will listen to my body. but I don't force myself to do it, because if you force yourself to eat healthy, you end up resenting yourself, resent the food. And what I have found personally, sorry, I get like, what I have found personally is if I resent the food and I resent myself for eating healthy, I try to go too far in the other direction, eat too unhealthy to kind of balance it out. So I recommend to eat as healthy as you want to. So the foods that are healthy that you do like, eat more of those, but don't force yourself to eat healthy. I don't think it's a recipe for success. Oh, thanks very much. I appreciate that, Chris. Hey, thank you very. Hey, um, Vicky is she's actually on Instagram. I'm not sure if she's still here in the video now, but if you're watching this on the replay, I'll leave a link. Um, she has a intermittent fasting podcast, and she was gracious enough to have me on there and got to podcast and kind of talk about my intermittent fasting journey. So, but it's great to see you, Vicky. And again, after this video is done and uploaded, I will leave a link to her podcast below. Be sure to go and check her out. Again, her and I kind of connected on Instagram, but so great to see you in here. Hey, I really believe you'll be able to go full time on YouTube soon. You're such a great content creator. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Hey, I just want to know if I can get you on my podcast whenever you have some free time. Absolutely. Hey, so same thing, man. I love finding time for this stuff. Life is crazy, so it's like trying to find a time that works. But I was on Vicky's podcast, who was just on. If you want me to be on your podcast, shoot me an email here, and we kind of link up. I'd love to figure out how we can work that out. Again, life is crazy, especially these next few weeks are going to be crazy busy. But shoot me an email, and we'll start working on our schedules. Congrats, dude. Love from the UK. Thank you very much. Got a big UK fan base, and I appreciate it. Man, it would be awesome to make it big enough on YouTube to be able to travel around. That would kind of be one of my low key dreams. There is to be able to travel around and meet with people who have had success with the channel. And like, I would love to take my family to the UK and eat some authentic British food after breaking my fast. Selena, thank you for your advice. Thank you for your advice and motivation, Just our IF. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Selena. Again, anytime I hear something like this, my response is always, I'm glad you found the channel. And to that end, hey, listen, if you wanted to support the channel in any way, kind of the biggest thing that I think would help the channel, and if you want to support the channel in any way, I would just say commit to yourself to getting and living a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. And that's all I want you to do. Just commit to yourself to living a healthy, sustainable lifestyle, progress over perfection. Because in a year or two, because we're all in this for the long haul, when you start to see success and people ask you what you did, just say, hey, I started watching this YouTube channel, and then direct them over to the channel. That's honestly word of mouth. I think the way that I want to grow the channel is by helping people succeed. So if you want the channel to succeed, and if you feel like you were invested in the channel succeeding, all I want you to do is be successful and tell people, hey, I learned about this slow and steady approach to living a healthy life, and then direct them back over here. That's probably the biggest thing you can do to help the channel grow. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. How tall are you? I am 5'11", 71 inches. New to your content, really appreciate it. Can you quickly describe your IF schedule? 16, 8, 5, 2. So I average 17 to 18 hours, 2 days a week. I do probably OMAD, 2 to 3 days a week. I'm doing 1 meal a day, or that 20 to 22 hour fast. And 1 day a week, I'm probably doing 16 hours, maybe 14 hours. 1 day a week, I do that. 2 to 3 days a week, I'm doing OMAD. The other days, I'm doing between 17 and 18 hours. And I just kind of base it off my schedule and how I'm feeling. JRV, I got Jude Co. Thanks for jumping on the live stream, man. Will you talk about how you deal with YouTube trolls? You have a great strategy. Hey, so Jude is one of the reasons that I got into YouTube. And if you, after this or during this, be sure to go and check out his channel. It's Jump Rope Veteran. Him and I served together at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, deployed to Afghanistan together. But one of the things that I do to deal with the YouTube trolls is one, I said it earlier in the stream, but life is too short to be negative. I have a positive outlook because life's too short to be negative. And honestly, one of the other things that I do, I credit me being able to respond to some of the trolls is absolutely my time in the Army. I almost cussed on the live stream. I'm not going to do that. There's a lot of talking in the Army, and you learn kind of how to take it and how to give it back. And I've also been on the internet for a long time. I spent a lot of time on Reddit, and I I probably think I'm funnier than I am, but in my mind, I think that I'm witty. So when I see a troll, I take that as an opportunity to kind of make light of it. One, because life is short. And I also, honestly, with some of these troll videos, the reason that I post them is not because their negative comments get me down, but I want to try to raise you all up that when you have haters, because you're going to have haters, just work to just let that stuff brush off your shoulder. But so the way that I deal with them is I always try to be positive as much as you can with a comeback. I don't try to put them down. Um, is it Michelle Obama's quote? They go low, we go high. Essentially, I try to respond to negativity with positivity and humor. I feel like that comes off well as well. Maybe I'm missing the mark, but I think most people kind of enjoy those clapback videos because I respond to negativity with positivity. New to your content and really appreciate all you do. Which I have schedule you follow. Again, I change it based off of my schedule and kind of what works with family and work life. I wish I was okay with losing half a pound a week. If I'm not losing at least a pound, I lose motivation fast. I have a lot more to lose than you. So, listen, this is tough, right? Not losing quickly can be tough because if you don't lose it quick, you lose motivation. And if you don't stay motivated, you can fall off completely. But here's what I'll tell you, man. If you were to lose a quarter of a pound a week for the next 5 years, would you rather be down? I can't do math. Somebody do that math in the bottom. Would you rather over the next 5 years lose 70 pounds and keep it off forever? Or if you were to lose 60 pounds in the next 3 months, but 5 years from now, you have a 98% chance of gaining it all back plus more, what would you choose? And I think slow and steady is the way to go. You've got to tell yourself that you're in this for the long haul. There are going to be weeks that you gain weight. It doesn't matter if you gain weight because over the course of years, we're going to lose weight. And I know it's easier said than done, but that's kind of the thing to think about. To use your phone or blogging, everything's on my iPhone for a few reasons. One, convenience. I always have my phone with me. And two, money. I don't have money for a camera. So I film everything on my iPhone. New to your channel, how does your family keep up with your fasting? They do well with it. Again, it's not too bad for them because for the most part, I just skip breakfast and I always join them for dinners and we go out to eat as a family. So I'm just not eating breakfast. Thank you for the mindset. Hey, I appreciate it. Again, most of this is mindset. What was your original intention for wanting to start a YouTube channel on this topic? Twofold. One, I personally have always done well documenting, journaling. So I used to like to count calories. I don't do that anymore, but I used to like to go into MyFitnessPal and tracking everything that I ate. And I think it helps keep me accountable when I document my journey. So that's part of the reason for wanting to start the YouTube channel. The other thing is I left a soul-sucking 6-figure job 2 years ago to kind of start the YouTube channel because part of my journey is my mental health. And although I was making good money, I've hated myself. I hated the job I was doing, the way we treated customers, the way everything was about money. There was no reward in the money for me. But YouTube does provide me an opportunity, if I am successful with it, to bring in an income and earn a living doing something that is fulfilling to me. And sharing my journey and helping others along the way is fulfilling to me. I get energy from this. So that's the other reason that I started the YouTube channel is, at one point, at some point in the future, I would love to be able to provide for my family doing something that I love. And I think I love helping people. And the reason I chose intermittent fasting is I can share something that I am doing. I'm not an expert in it, but hopefully by the time the channel is big enough, I will have been doing it years, so I can kind of share my tips and advice. Those are the two reasons that I started the YouTube channel: document my own journey and an opportunity to help others and love doing what I'm doing. What is your motivation? My kids and my wife. Thinking long term, like, I look at my girls, and when they have kids years down the road, I want to be a fit and active grandparent. So that's kind of one of my motivations. That's my long-term motivation, but my motivation for the actual workout, I put in some good music and usually listen to like a YouTube motivational video while I'm working out for the workout. That's my motivation. Watching from Richmond, Virginia. Hey, and born in Germany as well. How do you feel about today's fitness community where there's emphasis on fast gains, expectations ruined by fake natties, and real goal long? So, as far as how I feel about it, I think that is one of the things that I am trying to fight against is this idea of quick. If somebody promises you fast results, usually they're selling something. And fast results aren't forever results. And I think a lot of the times, if there's a problem with the fitness industry, it is they have you think that there's one thing that you need to do to get the results. But what that causes, and there's 40 of you watching now, who knows how many people watch it on the replay. If you're watching on the replay at 1 hour and 7 minutes, let me know in the comments below. But if there's one thing that I could tell you watching this is there is no one thing that you need to do to get the results you want. And when the fitness culture and everybody, it doesn't matter if we're talking fitness or if we're talking YouTube, if I were to tell you there's one thing that you need to do to get fit and active, and you do that one thing and then you don't get the results, how does that make you feel? That makes you feel like you're the failure, right? There's just one thing I need to do, and I do that one thing and it doesn't work. Well, that kind of failure mentality keeps the fitness industry in business. And again, I'll try to take my tinfoil hat off. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there is no one thing that you need to do to be healthy and active. It's a lot of little things, monotonous, which is why it takes time, which is why I'm sharing my journey and showing you what I'm eating now isn't the healthiest. 2 years from now, it's going to be super healthy, but it takes time to get there. And by doing all of these little things consistently, I'm going to get the results. But as far as how I feel about the fitness industry, I feel like, there's nothing wrong with supplements. I get asked all the time what supplements I'm taking. I'm not taking any supplements right now. I'm going to take supplements. At some point, I will take supplements. But when I do that, it's not the supplement, it's not the supplement that gets you the result. That's just one thing that's added to the overall equation. So I don't know. Where the fitness industry is good, can be good. I watch fitness influencers. It can be motivating to see what is possible, but you have to realize that they're not doing one thing to get their results. They're doing a lot of things all the time. Enjoy your video. I was in the army. I was in the infantry. I'll finish watching this when I'm at school for a few more minutes before I go to school. I have about 5 days left. Oh, good stuff. Just started working out. What's your motivation? Wait, I did that one. Great beard. Thank you very much, Jason. Alex. Um, Sorry, I gotta scroll through. I got one of my haters here. I'll I'm not gonna highlight him too much. So I gotta scroll through. He's got about 12 comments in here. Alex Eats, man. Um, I don't know. Why don't you come work out with me sometime? I'll show you some balance, man. Jacksonville, Florida. Hit me up. Emails below. You want to work out. All right. What are the best alcohols for fat loss? Clearly, I don't know about that. It all comes down to an energy balance. I don't have enough experience to be able to speak to which one is the best for fat loss. It all comes down to an energy balance, um, burning more calories than you are consuming. Oh, but then there's David with your answer. With the answer, David's fasting with tequila. Love me a good margarita. Port St. Lucie, Florida. Love Port St. Lucie. Can you do a meet and greet? Oh man, get out of here. I don't know how many people. Let me know in the comments. It'll be a minute before I get there because there's a lot of comments. But how many people are from Jacksonville, Florida? I don't even know. Unintentionally had just the one meal yesterday, and the food I had tasted way better than when I'm eating 3 or 4 times a day. Is that a benefit for you too? Oh, absolutely. That's one of the reasons that I love intermittent fasting is I absolutely could eat the 2,500 calories um, over the course of multiple meals. But again, I feel more satiated and I feel better when I get to eat 1 or 2 big meals. And is it perfect? This is responding to I'll respond to Alex. He'll be our approximate. And again, don't, if you're watching this, don't get me in trouble with YouTube. Don't go and do anything. But am I eating absolutely perfectly? No. But what is my goal? Is to be a little healthier today than I was yesterday. My goal is not to be a fitness model, so I can enjoy foods that aren't necessarily the healthiest, but I can be sustainable. So that is absolutely one of the reasons that one of the huge benefits to intermittent fasting is I'm able to enjoy and feel satiated eating a few big meals throughout the day. I feel more hungry kind of when I snack throughout the day than when I just have 1 or 2 big meals. Liking the channel, man, helps me stay motivated for my 18-6. Thanks from Alberta. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Dustin, I wish I could say, but I got to work. Hey, thank you very much, Dustin. I appreciate you stopping in. Ooh, Delanaga, your videos help me a ton. Intermittent fasting is hard for me, and I'm early on that part of my weight loss journey, but I'm down 35 in the year. Hey, that's awesome, Joseph. And Delanaga is actually where the second phase of Ranger School is, Mountain Phase. Does my editor IF? I don't think so. I know she did celebrate. She just fasted, celebrate Ramadan, so she was fasting at least through the month. Hello from Scotland. Unintentionally had just 1 meal yesterday, and the food I tasted. Oh, hey there. Have you gone to the doctor for a checkup? If so, what did the doctor? So I have not yet. That is absolutely on my to-do list. I haven't been to the doctor probably in 3 years, just because I get anxiety when it comes to scheduling a doctor's appointment and figuring out I got to find a doctor. I honestly don't have a lot of health issues that I know of. So I regularly don't go to the doctor. I was doing yearly physicals, obviously, when I was in the Army because they tell you have to. And then when I got out of the Army for the first 3 years, I did yearly physicals. But I never really had an issue, which is part of the reason that I haven't got back to the doctor, which is not good on me. I should go before I have an issue. I am going to go find a doctor just to get my physical. And I'm going to try to find a doctor that's okay with me filming because I would love to share with you all my blood work because 1, I don't know what it is. And 2, that's a question that I get a lot. So that is absolutely a video that will be coming out. I'll go ahead and say sometime in the next 6 months now. I keep saying next week, but life just keeps getting in the way. Next 6 months, I will absolutely do a video where I'll go to the doctor and get get some blood work done, and I will share those results with you all. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really do. They are fun to make and fun to film for sure. I love the short format. Can keep my attention span for long enough to edit those. I still edit all my short videos only because I can do it in like 20, 30 minutes a day. To sit down for 6 hours and edit a long one's too much for me. I do not drink herbal teas. I have in the past. I just don't regularly. Hey, Ryan, just want to see what the most impactful moment in your military career was. Impactful. I mean, probably graduating Ranger School is my proudest accomplishment. So few people do it. It is a tough school, mentally, physically, and it was something that I wanted to do ever since I was a kid. Graduating Ranger School was absolutely a highlight. And another impactful moment, I'll just share this real quick and then move on to the next one. It was at Air Assault School. You have to do this. I think it's called the tough one. It's an obstacle that you have to do, but it starts with like a 25-foot rope climb. And I got all the way to the top, missed the bar, and fell like 20 something feet onto padding. It didn't hurt me, but I was smoked just from climbing the rope, and you have to get back in this line. And if you fail the second time, you don't even get to attend Air Assault School. Like, this is something you have to do to pass the school. And I was in the recycle line, and the amount of people in the recycle line that have to do a second time that actually pass the second time is very low, because not a lot of people can climb ropes, and that's one of the things you have to do. So the wood was wet from it had rained, so I just fell like the 20 feet to the ground, and I was standing in this recycle line, and I just kept watching the people in front of me do their second attempt and not pass, left, not get to attend Air Assault School. And I just told myself, you have to do this. You are going to graduate Air Assault School. So the power of visualization, call it one of my hidden talents, whatever you want to call it. I definitely believe in the power of visualization. So I told myself, standing in line, you will graduate, you will climb this rope. Doesn't matter what happens, you will climb this rope. And then I got up and climbed the rope and went on and went to the 11-day course and got my air assault badge. But I stood in that line with probably who knows how many other people that did not climb the rope the second time. And I had to sit there and watch them fail and leave. The power of positive visualization is absolutely key in what I do and a lot of what I do. Trees. Oh, so good. They have many keto syrups. Oh, for the sugar-free syrups. What's your favorite football team? UCF Knights. No, I don't watch a lot of sports, and I blame my father for that as well. Just because we didn't watch them growing up. So because I didn't watch them growing up, I don't watch them now. Oh, you like the workout video? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hey, thank you very much, Jason. Glad you could join in. Congratulations, your efforts will pay off. I appreciate that. Thanks for sticking out and growing your channel. I watch basically every video you upload. Good work. Those 50 pork rinds are, oh yeah, those 50/51s are so good. Hey, you just came into the chat to finish my 9-hour fast. Ooh, dang. Good job, Megan. That's crazy. So I haven't done, I think 33 hours is my longest fast in the last 2 years. At some point, I will do a 48 or maybe even 72-hour fast, for no other reason than I want to experiment with it and try it. But honestly, one of the reasons I don't do that is because I don't necessarily want to model that to my, I have 2 girls. I don't want to go days without eating. I don't want to model that behavior, because although we know that you can do that for health reasons, to a 4 and 7-year-old, they may not comprehend and understand that. That has been one of my hesitations to doing an extended fast. But there, every once in a while, the girls will go down to Melbourne for the weekend. Like if I'm working a Saturday and Sunday, Carrie will take them down to spend time with their grandparents. I may do like a 48 or 72-hour fast over a weekend. I have to plan in advance, but I am interested to try it. 4 to 5 for a video to come back for you. Most YouTubers get their next day from Fiverr. 4 to 5 video. So I honestly, it works for me because I found an inexpensive person on Fiverr, and I still lose a little bit of money on every video. So because of that, I feel like the quality is good. So I'm okay waiting because I don't have the money to invest to get it back faster for that same quality. Still here? What's going on, man? Or an hour and 5 minutes. Toughing it out, Chris. I appreciate that. So glad I caught your live. Love seeing the growth and the grace you give yourself, focusing on long-term goals, key, sending all the hugs. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How long and where did you serve? Can you talk about your time in the military? So I served from 2009 to 2016. I was in the Army. I was in the infantry. I was an officer. I did 2 tours in Afghanistan and was getting ready to go back to Afghanistan a 3rd time, which is part of the reason that I got out. My wife and I had our first child, Caroline, and I missed the first year of her life serving in Afghanistan, and was getting ready to go back to Afghanistan. I love the Army. I love the military. I love the infantry. But I think my family is more important to me than that. So I didn't, because I was in the infantry, and we're out of Afghanistan now, but I couldn't have known that at the time. I don't have a crystal ball. In a 20-year career being in the infantry, I foresaw being deployed for 8 to 9 years of the 20 years, which when I had gotten out, I'd almost spent 3 out of 7 years in Afghanistan. So I got out so that I could spend more time and watch my children grow up. I have worked at Publix coming up on a year. I think I went full-time at Publix last August. There was a period where I was working both jobs, where I was getting ready to career transition, but coming up on a year. Staple meals that I eat nearly every day. So if you'll watch my shorts, you'll see generally what I do is I find something that I like and I eat that same thing for probably 3 weeks, and then I transition to something else. Like avocados, for example. I was eating avocados all the time, and I have moved on from them for whatever reason onto pork rinds. And I will move on to something else. Right now, it's those burgers with the French fried onions. I've been eating those a ton. I have found that works for me. Is I find something I like, I eat it a lot until I am no longer excited about it, and then I find something else that works for me. Do you ever get the jitters, eating something in your stomach? No, again, after those first 3 weeks of fasting, I kind of just stopped getting hungry, but I am always drinking something. I think that does help, but I haven't experienced jitters or needing to eat. And if I do, when I do get hungry, I tell you all this if you'll see in some of my videos, and this is a trick for you. When I get hungry, I do set a stopwatch for an hour. And I tell myself, if at the end of this hour I'm still hungry, I'm going to eat. 9 times out of 10, the hour comes and goes and I'm no longer hungry. But when I start feeling like, oh, I need to eat something, I just set a stopwatch for an hour. Looking at the Carb Night program, it's beyond simple to adhere to. I'm blending that with intermittent fasting. I need to look into that Carb Night program. Forgot to set my reminder. I'll have to watch it back. Thanks for the videos. I really appreciate that. Where do you get your meal ideas? Yeah, it's working in the grocery store is where I get a lot of them, because I can see kind of different foods. And somebody said on the channel, does your wife ever cook? My wife actually cooks way more than I do. If you notice, whenever I'm cooking, I don't like to cook. I love to eat, but I don't like to cook. I've got a few requirements. If I'm going to cook something, I want there to be like less than 4 ingredients and less than 15 minutes of prep time. Because I feel like my life is so busy right now with work, and honestly, YouTube does take a lot of time. YouTube is like a second job. I'm okay with that. I'm doing it for myself, for my family. I'm okay working 2 jobs to provide for my family. But because of that, my time is limited. So I don't like to do a lot of meal prep. So I'd like to find things that are simple. So when it comes to meal ideas, that's one of the things that I'm thinking about is how can I cook this quickly and have there not be a lot of cleanup. That's one of the reasons I don't like prepping big meals, is I don't like doing all the dishes. It's also one of the reasons that I eat paper plates. People hate me for using paper plates, and I'm sorry, but I feel like my life is very busy right now. So if I can save seconds every day over time, that adds up. Greetings from Guatemala. I appreciate that. Entiendo español. I speak a little Spanish. Entiendo español, pero necesito practicar mucho más. I learned Spanish in college only because I had a bunch of friends that spoke Spanish. I enjoy the Spanish language. I need to get back into that. It's something that I really enjoy. If I went back to school, I always thought I'd go back to get a degree, a third degree in some sort of Spanish, just because I enjoy the language. Oh, congratulations, everybody. Let's give Neo a big high five. Started in December at 310, now 266. Congratulations, Neo. That is awesome. Or no. Congratulations. That's great to hear. I love celebrating successes. What kind of IF do you recommend for a beginner? I always recommend 16/8, kind of my go-to recommendation. Stop eating at 8 p.m., start eating at noon is kind of a great way to start. Speaking of, man, I started to get my stomach rumbling a little bit right now. All right, went from 300 or so pounds to 194 in 4 months back in 2019. Congratulations. That's awesome. Man, 4 months? That's crazy. What did you drink to not wash all your minerals out? I don't necessarily know. I do know that I salt my food pretty heavily. I think that helps me. I don't have headaches when I fast. And I think I have a decent amount of an electrolyte balance because I do salt my food. Thank you for your service. I appreciate that. Chewing gum breaks a fast. If it's sugar-free, do it, man. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. If chewing gum helps you, don't let the intermittent fasting please tell you not to do it. Experiment, see what works for your body. But no, I don't think chewing a gum breaks a fast. Sometimes I see you eating high sugary foods. Don't you think it's a bit counterproductive in your diet since insulin resistance is the root of most illness? Long-time follower, by the way, keep it up. So I don't know how healthy or unhealthy a lot of the foods that I eat are. I do know what healthy foods are, and I think we all generally, intuitively, we can look at foods and know if they're healthy or not. I am moving in the direction of more healthy. What I'm eating now, I think, is healthier than what I was eating 6 months ago, is healthier than I was eating a year ago. And I hope that a year from now, what I'm eating is healthier than what I eat now. So what I try to do is give myself grace to eat some of those foods that aren't necessarily the healthiest, and over time move in the right direction. So the thing that I think here is it may be counterproductive in a vacuum. So yes, is the foods that I'm eating, could I be eating healthier? I could, but if I was doing that, would I also be having sustainable success? And the answer to that, I think, is I don't know that I would. So that's where I try not to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. 65 pounds, good stuff. Hey, what's going on, Ruben? Hey, been watching your videos since you started short videos to now from the Philippines. Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that. It's so, again, I like seeing that people are watching these from around the world. Again, it helps to motivate me as well. All right, so massive inspiration. I appreciate that. Losing a quarter pound a week allows you to live your life too, so the weight loss is just kind of passive. Absolutely agree, because we have to live our lives. Like, I fast a lot, but your channel always motivates me to keep going, so thank you. Hey, I appreciate that. Glad to provide motivation, because again, I get a lot of motivation from you all. Slow and steady wins the race, man. There is a reason that is an old story, because slow and steady wins the race. Hey, I'm having a great day. Again, one of our rock stars from the last live stream watched all, I think, hour and 40 minutes. We're at an hour and a half right now. I said I was going to cut this off at an hour and a half, but I'm going to keep going for a little bit, because honestly, I want to show you all the respect that are tuning in on the live stream. I want to try to get to as many of these as I can. I do have to call it here and note. We'll see how long I go, but we're at an hour and a half right now. I'm going to keep going. All right, doing weight training with OMAD, do you think it's okay for muscle growth? I think as long as you're eating enough foods and enough protein, you can gain muscle. See and experiment, see what works for you. Just make sure you're eating enough protein. What's your advice for someone that's IF and your family does not? We end up making 2 or 3 meals for my wife and three of eat that eat different food than myself. Um, So what I generally do when Carrie and I meal plan is we'll meal plan for the week. We'll say, hey, these are the things that we're thinking about eating. And what I will do is I will look at what we're eating and I will make the adjustments on my other meals. I'll give you a quick example. If it looks like we're going to be having spaghetti for dinner, well, that's a high carb food. So I don't want to eat different than my family. So I'm going to eat the spaghetti. But then when it's lunchtime, I'm going to eat something that's really high in protein. I may just have a rotisserie chicken. That way, over the course of the day, my macros kind of line up a little bit. I will make my personal adjustment to be able to fit in the meals with the family. Um, and because lunch I'm usually eating on my own, I change that meal based off of what the family dinner is. That's how I do it personally. Um, would love to hear your life story. Military, previous hated job in the store today. So I think I'm going to actually create a standalone video, kind of talking about my story together. So that'll be coming for sure. I'm in that 20 pounds left to lose. Watching your videos help me stay motivated. I'm losing about 2 pounds a month. What I tell myself is down is down. Thank you for inspiring us. Congratulations, Bonnie. I know you and me both. We're both at that. I feel like I have about 20 pounds. If I could be in the 190s, that would be really good. Again, I'm at 211 yesterday. If I could be in the 190s, I feel like I would look good. I would feel good. That's kind of where I want to be. But it's in this home stretch that you do have to tell yourself that the long game is the right game. Because the other thing is when you have a lot of weight to lose, you can make a small change, like incorporating intermittent fasting and do nothing else. A small change can get you a big result. But as you get closer to your goal, you have to make big change for a small result. So one of the reasons that I'm losing slow now is because I'm getting close within 20 pounds of probably my ideal weight. I am going to have to clean up my diet. I recognize that. I am going to have to clean up my diet to lose these last 15 to 20 pounds if I want to eat the same number of calories. I could eat unhealthy food and low calories, but I don't want to do that. But I'm going to have to clean up my nutrition, make sure that I'm getting my exercise regularly. I may cut out some of my dirty fats, all that. As you get closer to your goal, it takes more changes, but you can do those more changes over a long period of time. So I'm in the process of cleaning up my diet, but I've given myself a year to do it. That's why I say what I'm eating a year from now is going to look different. That's because a year from now I want to be at my goal weight, and I know to be at my goal weight, eventually I'm going to have to eat really clean. But I'm just taking my time to get there. But congratulations on your weight loss already, and virtual high five for the slow and steady approach. Down is down. Like your content, keep with it. Will do. Do you think you could post more of your workouts? So the problem that I have posting workouts is time and money, and here's what I mean. um, I only work out at the gym 2 to 3 days a week. Today I worked out at the gym. I only work out 2 to 3 days a week. I can't afford to pay somebody every time to film my workout. I did for this one coming up, because if I'm going to have somebody film my whole workout, I feel like I need to pay them. I can't afford to pay somebody to film my workout every time. I'm just not making that kind of money. Um, and I can't film it myself because of it interrupts the workout, all right? Because one of the things that you don't see is, like, in this day in the life videos, it takes me twice as long to do everything, to fold laundry, to make my meals, because of the time it takes to set up the camera. And I'm okay doing that because I need to be able to produce content. But I because I'm only working out 3 times a week, I try to get the most out of those workouts, and I don't have time to film myself working out because it interrupts the workout. So that's probably one of my biggest hindrances to filming more workouts is time and money. When I start making more on YouTube, I will absolutely pay somebody to follow me around the gym for my 3 workouts a week. But know this, take assurance here. I do the same workouts all the time. So if you go back, I have a workout playlist. I have like 5 workouts on there. I'm doing those same ones. So the other thing, because I don't change my workouts a lot, if I were to post every workout, I'm going to be doing the same things. So I stick to kind of those same 5 workouts. My man, hey, I appreciate that. What guns have you used before? Man, I've shot everything. My favorite's a Mark 19. It's a 40 millimeter grenade launcher. It's essentially a machine gun that shoots grenades. The sound of it is amazing. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Leslie. Greetings from South Africa. Again, always great to see people from around the world. What's going on, Tony? How's everything? Alex Eats is one of those people who just hate for no reason. Just let Ryan live his life. Alex, okay. Hey, again, I really appreciate man, it's probably one of my favorite comments to see. Is people that are like, they just like watching the content, which I appreciate that. I'm trying to make better videos that you like watching. Such a realistic approach. Thank you very much. D&G Deli Grill downtown Jacksonville is amazing. Oh, I need to check them out. So one of the videos that I will do, it's on my list of video ideas, is I've had a lot of people tell me where I need to eat in Jacksonville. I'm going to come up with like a Jacksonville food bucket list and go around and eat all those restaurants. Keto Ranger, what's going on? Keto Ranger is an OG supporter of the channel. So again, it's always nice to see you commenting on these. Have you thought about making slight tweaks to optimize health, such as minimizing seed oils? So I absolutely have. So seed oils is one of those things. I don't know a lot about it, but a lot of health people that I watch on Instagram and YouTube talk about the dangers of seed oils. Now, here's what I'll say to everybody watching me. You know, I'm progress over perfection. Seed oils, I'm sure, are bad, and we should try to eliminate them from our diet, but don't let eliminating them from your diet prevent you from just making progress. At some point, I'm going to look into seed oils and cutting them out of my diet because I want to see how I feel. But then it just comes back to a time thing. Like right now, I don't have the time to look at every food and meal plan to get rid of seed oils. Like I think peanut butter has it or whatever. That is one of the things that I want to do to optimize my health and nutrition because I've been seeing so much about it. I want to try it personally. So it's on my list of things to do. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Get out of here. Feels unreal. It was 10K yesterday, celebrating 40K. It absolutely, it's crazy. It's like, I feel like I'm on a rocket ship right now. And for that, I appreciate each and every one of you. Every one of those 40,000 subscribers is not just a number on the screen. It is a person behind it. So again, for that, I appreciate that. What inspired you to start my channel? My friend 𝐂𝐿𝐒 at Jump Rope Veteran. Be sure to go check him out after this. He, he started his YouTube channel, and he is the one that kind of got me inspired to get onto YouTube. Dan the Fishman. Hey, Dan, if you're watching this right now or afterwards, shoot me a text. Let's get together and talk about your channel. Go check out Dan the Fishman. He's another Publix employee working in the meat department over on the other side of Florida, starting his own YouTube, starting and working on his YouTube channel. So hit me up after this, Dan, and let's get together and talk about the channel. I'm new to the channel. Hopefully you haven't answered this already, but do you regularly take supplements? So I answered this a little bit ago, but I take no supplements. At some point I will. And again, that's going to be as I get closer to my goal. I'm going to need those changes to help me dial it in. But when you're just starting, I haven't taken any supplements yet. Like creatine is one that I want to take. It does help build muscle. I haven't taken it yet. And I'm not against supplements. What I am against when it comes to supplements is trying to sell you the idea that a supplement is the thing that you are missing, because that's just not the case. What you're missing is balance and sustainability. Yeah, if you're building muscle, 72-hour fast will burn muscle too. Yeah, and that's what again, when I do a longer fast like that, I'm gonna have to do some investigating on seeing when the best time is. I probably won't work out during those 72 hours. Oh, thank you. Man, inspiring. I appreciate that. How often do you have the dirty bulk days? I kind of listen to my body. If I'm dirty fast, so like diet soda and things like that, they're less often now than when I started. I had one 2 days ago. I had a Ghost energy drink. I'd never tried those before last week. I would say probably I'm doing dirty fasting, meaning diet soda or maybe a little bit of cream in my coffee, probably about 10% of the time. So maybe once every 10 days, I'm doing a dirty fast. And I just listen to my body, right? If there's times where I want to fast longer and have a diet soda to help me make it, I will do that. And that's just because that's where I'm at right now. When I started, I was dirty fasting half of the time. Half of the days, I would do a diet soda or something during my fast. But as I've been doing it longer, I'm just having less often. But I would say about 10% of the time, I'm doing a dirty fast. IF has been the most effective to lose weight down 100 pounds. Hey, that's awesome, Chris, man. IF, it's not for everybody, but it is a powerful tool. Ever taken 0-calorie BCAAs? I have not. That's one of the supplements that I'm going to be looking at. Watching you since you started. Hey, I appreciate that. It's always great to see an OG here. I'm recently going through a divorce. Prior to this, I started my weight loss journey, but I feel so unmotivated. Now I've lost 25 pounds just by not eating because of all the stress. Any advice? Just start. So you can't steer a parked car. Just start. Start slow, start messy. Go back and watch the very first video on my channel. I talk about my stair-step approach to intermittent fasting. That's my recommendation to anybody that wants to start. Just go and watch that video and then reach out to me at my email here with any questions. How much do you weigh now? So I was at 211 yesterday morning. And I only weigh myself like once a month right now. I'm letting the mirror. I do take progress photos every morning. Part of that's for a time lapse. Hopefully I have a cool time lapse. But I only step on the scale like once a month now because I let the mirror kind of dictate how I'm feeling. But I was 211. Just got here, so not sure if you talked about it. What's the biggest thing that keeps you motivated? So long term, it's my family. Short term, I put in some good music when I'm at the gym. Any tips on feeling guilt after overeating during OMAD? No, I talk about it earlier in the stream. You can go back and watch. I give a long excerpt on not feeling guilt, but a lot of it is just understanding that food has no morality and you have to give yourself grace. What you did in the past doesn't affect where you're going in the future. It's what you're doing now. So you just have to give yourself some grace and understand that you're human, right? We are going to overeat. We're going to eat foods that aren't the healthiest. What did you do in your six-figure income? I was a manager at a place. Had a big budget. Had like 70 people that worked for me. I don't necessarily want to call them out on here, but it was a soul-sucking job that only cared about making money. Anyone that you follow in intermittent fasting OMAD community on YouTube? I mean, I watch a lot of Thomas DeLauer stuff. There's a new girl on YouTube, intermittent fasting foodie. I watch a lot of her stuff. Her and I actually got on YouTube about the same time, growing about the same rate too. She's at like 32,000 subscribers, but her and I have very similar foods on intermittent. Do you ever fast all day to eat a bunch of food late at night? Yeah, every once in a while. Like that was the other day. I had a Whopper when I got off of work, working a closing shift, because I had eaten too early in the day. It does happen. I just can't get back on the train. Currently a first lieutenant myself. I'm a log dog. How long have you been in prior to retiring? I was in for 7 years. Go Loggies. Sugar-free gum and black coffee or caloric cheat code. Oh, for sure. Down about 120 pounds since last March. That's incredible. Congratulations. That's so awesome. All right. What's your training like? Bodybuilding or CrossFit? Those are the two that I'm doing most often because I enjoy them. So bodybuilding and CrossFit for sure. Slow and steady is fast? Absolutely. How do you like how do you build for being a butcher? It's a tough craft, man. Oh, thank you very much. I like being a butcher. It's been fun. I like cooking steaks, so it's that's part of the reason that I went into the meat department, is because I like cooking steaks, and they're the highest paying department at Publix. Don't have a question, but appreciate your videos. Hey, I appreciate that, Darius. Thanks for stopping by, man. Hey, thank you very much, Doug. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to get on your level, man. At some point, you need your thumbnail game and your videography. Like, your cameras look so good, man. I need to get on that level at some point. All right, Brett, been doing OMAD for the last 30 days and love it. My meal is every day around 6 p.m. I stress when friends make lunch plans, considering I've never done OMAD that early in the day. Any tips? All right. So if your friends make lunch plans, just kind of adjust. I like to adjust my fasting and everything to fit my life, not the other way around. So I'll just change my eating patterns. If I'm going out with friends or if I'm doing breakfast, I won't fast for a day just to be social. You can't do it all the time, but to say that it's never going to happen, it's not necessarily the best either. Can you stop posting the same content? Like, if someone who cares enough for posting the comment in your sub count, it's like cringy now. Ooh, that's a good piece of advice. As far as posting the same content goes, I don't know. I'll work on it. Have you considered using a GoPro attached to your chest during your workouts? Different points of view would still be interesting. I have. I had a chest rig that I can put my phone in. I have a chest rig that I can do. I'm trying to work on the videography, but fortunately now that I have a video editor, I'm able to film different stuff, and she's able to kind of put that all together. So that's absolutely something I need to look at. Are you going to offer training programs at some point? I'd be interested. I don't know. I think if I did anything outside of YouTube, call it for an income or whatever the case may be, I don't know that I would do a course, but I have, in the last month or two, considered writing a book. I don't know. It wouldn't even be a book on fasting. It would just kind of be my story. If I did anything, that's probably what I would do. You absolutely need to talk to your doctor. Again, I'm not a medical professional. Just talk to your primary care physician for anything like that. Favorite fitness and diet YouTubers you watch? Oh, Nick Bare. I love Nick Bare. I love Nick Bare. He's a former infantry ranger guy too. He's at like 800,000 subs. He runs Bare Performance Nutrition, a whole supplement line. I love Nick Bare and his stuff. I've been binging a lot of his stuff recently, and I've literally just come across him in the last few months. Thank you so much. Been doing OMAD for about 3 weeks now. Your content has helped. Thank you so much. Duval, go Jags. Hey man, I've been watching for a long time. Any tips on starting these YouTube shorts? Yes, just start messy. Just start posting them and see what people like. Start posting content. Don't worry if it's bad or not. Your first videos are your worst videos. Mine are as well. So just start is my biggest advice. Don't get too crazy, but just start posting videos. And as you post, through the action of posting, you will get better. If you go back, you'll see my videos have kind of evolved. So you just kind of start. Also wanted to mention that gamer subs have been great for me, Zero Cal. I've heard a lot about gamer subs recently too, so I may check them out. KFC or McDonald's? McDonald's, triple cheeseburger, extra pickles, no onions. Love the content. Keep at it. As a girl dad, watching a fellow father balancing work and workout is great. Hey, I appreciate that, man. And yes, I say getting shot at in Afghanistan gave me a few of these gray hairs, but most of them come from having 2 girls. Fat, but still love watching your journey. Thanks. I appreciate that. Love you too. And What's your weight goal, and do you use anything to track it? Thanks for the content. My weight goal is probably in that 190 range, and I don't use anything to track it. I was using MyFitnessPal, but I just kind of stopped tracking and just kind of remember where I'm at. I take those progress photos now every morning. So, hour and 50 minutes. Hey, I made it to the last comment. Thank you very much for joining. If you watched this on the replay, go ahead and leave a comment below and start the comment with write purple out just so that I know you watched the whole video. But if you watched this whole thing on the replay, you are an absolute rock star. For everybody that joined in at any point, I really appreciate it. Again, I'm thankful to each and every person that's following me along on my journey. And if you want to do something to support the channel, just focus on your own journey. Focus on finding sustainable ways to live healthy in the long run. And when people ask you what you're doing, pointing back to the channel, I think that in and of itself would mean the world to me. But hey, I appreciate each and everything you do. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a great day. Remember, progress over perfection. We're not looking to lose weight fast. We're looking to lose weight forever. Thanks again, and I will catch you in the next video.